Hello, 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 hello. Once again, it's your boys, the DM podcast, giving you the flavor in your ear. And today's topic, it's simple. We're talking about what's wrong with certain teams. Like we have a bunch of teams, organizations, medical staff that we just want to harp on. We're gonna talk about that. Talk maybe some Wemby. Talk about Darian Fox scoring, 61 game and then 49 the next game, which like that amount of scoring Kobe Bryant did about like 20 years ago. So we
Oh
haven't seen
yeah,
that back to back like that. So that's pretty good. Probably talk some. I was gonna probably bring up some LeBron again because LeBron's he's my goat. He's my goat. Man's had triple double. Didn't have one last night, but he had a lot, four in a row. The man's darn near 40. He's 40, and we got to talk about that.
call him 40. He's 40. He's 40.
He's 40. So
He's 40.
it's nice to see that he's still that competitive. Speaking of competitive, we will probably talk some Raptors because we are a Raptors also podcast, and they're the best 2-11 team I've ever seen. The way they compete, I can talk about that. RJ Jakob Pertl all of a sudden he's a 20-10 guy because like
Crazy.
we can talk about that. I don't know how the touch under the rim is pretty good, but we can chat about all that stuff. But before I continue, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you like so the algorithms can get us more views and we can get more popular, be whatever. Just make sure you guys like and don't forget to comment below as well. Before I continue, my boy YS, how's everything going?
Every day above ground. Every day above ground.
Cool, cool, cool. Of course, of us, as long as we're alive and well, we good. We good, we good. Now we can go right to it. We were talking a little bit before, and we are talking about some of these teams, and you kind of said something. So I want you to kind of continue with it because I think you're right. We even added some of the timeline, but you mentioned it. This year has been kind of different, kind of weird,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Could you explain what you meant to the people?
Well, the teams you're expecting to do well, the players expecting to do well, right? They're not doing as well, or they're doing what they need to do, but it's not equating to team success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm seeing that a lot this year. Like a lot of teams be surprising certain teams when I know it's still early, but I don't know. This NBA season, it feels a lot different than the previous NBA seasons, at least the last six or seven.
I think one thing that I've noticed is that like one thing I like is that like a lot of teams are pretty even. Like there's a lot of teams who are in that 5, 6 range of wins, and I appreciate that. Like I rather that instead of like we do have that one team in the Cleveland Cavaliers, which we didn't really we have to always shout them out because they're still undefeated.
I know.
So still shout them out. But they have their next week is gonna be hard. I'm not sure they're gonna be undefeated. They have like Boston. I think they have a Denver this week. They have a few teams that may beat them. But like I like the fact that there's some like parity in the league. It makes everyone consistent. But I could see like it does seem a little bit different this year. I think the teams, which is probably our whole theme, right? Like the teams we expected to be good aren't good.
Hmm.
Like when you look at a team like the Minnesota, they're 7-6 as we do this recording. Like, you know what I'm saying? What's really happening? So I think there's a little bit of weirdness. I think everyone they see that the shooting has gone up. Like, as a league, they're shooting close to 40% shooting the three. That's like significant.
That's very, I'm surprised. I didn't know that. As a league, 40%,
Yeah, close to 40% shooting,
pretty
which is
legit.
like very significant.
That's pretty legit.
Um,
That's lights out.
that that means you really can't leave people open, right? You really can't leave people
Gotta
open.
guard the line. That's what it is, yeah.
And then like the best teams shoot less threes, but the teams that aren't so good shoot more threes. But that's just because they're not as good. The variance, like they need to shoot more because of it. But I find it kind of crazy that it's the league has gone more shot heavy. They're shooting 40% also like of their shots are 3-point shots, which we expect. Eventually it'd be 50-50. I don't see the league being like a 60-40 because it's so much easier to drive through the lane and like get a easy bucket and like we still got big men who post. I don't ever see the league going 63-point shots and 42-point shots. That just wouldn't make sense when the one shot's easier than the other. But if it does, I think that would really hurt the league.
It definitely would hurt the league, but
And,
yeah,
and,
I get that.
and we don't want to see that. I was thinking about this one thing. I want to get your thoughts. Like, with the shooting the three, you would expect less injuries. Am I crazy? You would expect less injuries because man's are shooting the three more,
which makes sense.
right? But I feel like we're just getting so much injuries, like so much injuries. And like I always question myself, like, why are the injuries happening so much? Like, is it a medical team? People can say the guys are just better, the league is better, the guys are more physical. As much as mans are not hacking each other, they're just more physical. People do drive into the lane a lot more. Like John Morant is known to like try to body a man. LeBron, Durant, like all these mans are known for these things. But I think the injuries pile up is what's kind of hurting us here. But what do you see with the injuries and stuff? Like, what do you think? Why are there so much more now?
Honestly, I don't even want to say this, but since gambling became more and more popularized and legal, I'm gonna say legal with
Yeah,
NBA, I kind of noticed, or since the COVID, that there has been more injuries than normal since the COVID. Before the COVID, it was, you know, but after COVID, it was just like guys would just be injured way
yeah,
more. You know what I mean? Sure, we can blame medical staff too. That's part of the reason too. But since COVID, I don't know. Like those two things I noticed since COVID, right? A lot more injuries, and it's just not. You're not looking forward to watching certain teams, certain games anymore because there's so much injuries. Definitely, they're NBA players, they're professionals. They can still ball. They're still 420 of the best in the world. Period.
right.
Right, but you want to see you want to see the starting lineup. Nothing against the bench guys, right? You want to see a team at full strength, right?
Right,
So when they win or lose, it's like, okay, we beat a healthy Cleveland team, we beat a healthy Lakers team, we beat a healthy Phoenix team, right? Because a lot of wins have an asterisk beside it. Oh, they won because these guys were injured and these guys
yeah,
were, and it's kind of like it takes away from the competitiveness with all these injuries, right? Because you want to see Thanos versus, like you want to see the heavyweights, but
right, right. So one thing you brought up just now that I kind of, when you think about these injuries, and then you think about like, I think it makes organizations complacent a little bit because if your team is injured for the most of the season. What like right now the Pelicans are injured, and we'll get to them. But if you're an organization, you can the same verbiage you can use for a few years. Well, we weren't healthy. We weren't healthy. So next year will be better because and so you kind of keep and then your fan base thinks the same thing. Like we weren't healthy. He's right. Like the Chicago Bulls fans can be like, we didn't have Lonzo and Cruz. We had him for we had him for 20 games and we were pretty good, right? We were number one in the East, best defense in the league. Blah, blah, blah. But you're like, oh man, when they come back, but then also Lonzo was gone for 2 years, things like that happen. But in your brain, you keep telling yourself like, we're good enough. We were just injured. We were just injured. We were just injured. So I think that it makes them complacent. I think you're right about the gambling. I also think like the owners are so money hungry. Like people are paying for tickets. Like they're paying for tickets. The attendance is still there in the league. It's not that
yeah,
the attendance has
it is.
Raptor tickets are incredibly expensive, right? And this team isn't good right now.
Even though cruise ships went down,
right.
still stadiums again sold out.
So they're still getting sold out. They're still pretty good. So people are still watching the game. So it's still. But I think the ownership's like, well, if they're gonna still pay for the product, we don't need to make the product the best, right? We don't need to make the product the best because they're still paying for the product. So we don't have to worry about this and that. 'Cause I also think like I feel like Mavs would play through some injuries back in the day. Like I really do think so. Right? Like Iverson, you almost was dying on the court. You have to pull Iverson to get out. Like Kobe really didn't get hurt until he got the Achilles injury.
Yeah,
Like
and
a lot of these guys don't really get hurt.
you remember when you'd be watching old Philly games, let's say 99, 2000,
Yeah.
and Iverson, they put Iverson in the injury chart, and they have a diagram of Iverson that had elbow, broken finger,
Yeah.
bruised rib, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
ankle and all this. And he's still balling out there, right? You see
Like,
me even playing holding his rib at times. You know what I mean?
these
So
guys were hurt, right? So I don't know. I find it kind of odd. And like, look at even like the 76ers. Their mind is like, well, we're gonna get Embiid healthy for the playoffs. I think Embiid is the only person that I'm okay with this Kawhi.
I hate those talks. We're gonna get a healthy playoffs. When we are watching ball 20 years ago,
Yeah,
we never heard. We're
Never,
gonna bust this player, get him healthy. But we that was not a lot of thought.
never, 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 never. With Embiid, I'm almost okay with it because I'm like, okay, he is such an MVP type person that I'm almost willing to be like, let's see him healthy in playoffs. Like he's the only one. I'm willing to do it.
I hear you. I hear you. But the thing is, if you're a real baller, you want a ball regard. You always want a ball.
Right,
Injury or not, you're just like you're itching a ball.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So
I'm
I
so
don't know if you like. I can't. There's a lot of players in the league, and I heard this on I believe a podcast. I forget which podcast, but there's a lot of players in the league that don't love the game.
I can see that.
There's a majority of players in the league that don't love the game. You can tell by the way they approach their work, as I was hearing on podcasts. So I
Yeah.
do not know if Embiid loves the game. He's nice at it. He has size, but I don't know
Yeah.
if he really loves the game.
Yeah, I know it's true because loving the game is like some guys you can tell love the game. Like, and you're right, you can tell these guys love the game. Like Westbrook loves the game. I think Giannis loves playing a sport, if that makes sense. Like, I think he loves to be active, right? Like, I think he's just a competitive man. Like, he's just competitive. So I think he just likes the playing of a sport. But I agree. Some people just don't love the game. They don't like love it the way you almost want them to love the game. You want them to because it's about being passionate, right? That's what I think most of us are okay if there's beef on the court, let there be beef on the court. These men are all partying at the next day, all sharing the same girlfriends. Like they're all cool. Trust me. Most of these guys are cool with each other. They don't really hate each other that much. The only man I think people really hate is like Dylan Brooks. Okay, other than Dylan Brooks, nobody really hates
Maybe
anybody.
Draymond. Maybe
And
Draymond.
maybe Draymond, but I find people like respect Draymond. They just allow Draymond to be him,
Yeah, yeah.
right? A podcast I was listening to, I wonder what your thought because we both have a little bit of an old school mentality. Someone's like, there's no villains in the league anymore,
Mm,
right? 'Cause we used to have villains, or like, yeah, I would say, but I'm thinking back then, who was a villain? There was no real villains
like
back
back,
then.
maybe Vernon Maxwell, Mad Max.
Yeah, but like, because
Stuff like
Draymond's like the best
Latrell
villain we
Sprewell. Latrell Sprewell. Would you say he's a villain?
have.
A villain against his coach, but
Yeah, legit. But like I don't think we ever had any villains, but I think one thing that a man said in the pod, it was the Bill Simmons podcast. He had Van Lathan and Waz on it, and then I think it was Waz who said it. Like the thing is, you can't do anything bad anymore. Like back in the day, like think about Rodman. Rodman was gambling, going to a strip club, and
actually,
then
Rodman was a villain. We'll say he's a villain.
yes, yeah, he was doing whatever he wanted to do and then went back and played ball the next day. James Harden goes to the strip club and we question his like mental state.
Social media now. Remember, this is '90s, so it's like
Right, you're right.
90s,
This is
we
what
had
you
to
were saying
watch
last week.
TV. There was no camera phones. There was cameras, but
Yeah, now we judge everything they do. They have to be like perfect model citizens. Like LeBron, which I'm glad has no controversy, none. No allegations of him sleeping with a bunch of. Once you hear a woman say that she slept with LeBron James, you don't hear the woman again.
you don't hear. Yep, yep, yep.
They either give her hush
And I know
money or
this is
they
off
fight.
topic, but it's for me, it's hard to believe. You're LeBron James. You kept it in your hands for 20 years in the league, and it was only for you, Savannah. It's hard for me to believe.
It would be hard for a lot of people to believe, right? But like it is what it is for that. Like, but the whole thing is like you don't hear nothing. Like there's even Steph Curry. He's a model citizen to everybody,
Steph
right?
Curry is like I get the demeanor. Like Steph Curry's demeanor seems like he's really just a family man that can just ball and shoot. Like that's his
Right.
demeanor. Like LeBron, you see how LeBron kind of comes with some sauce. You know what I mean? How he dresses and whatnot. Curry doesn't really care about that. He's just wearing like it's just like he's dropping his kids off at school. How he's dressed.
Right, right. That's what, like we were talking about it last week. See, we even add this part of like why the NBA is a little different. Like it's a little boring because like even the NBA show that they had on Netflix. Okay, this is what we learned. Anthony Edwards he's cool. He has a baby on the way, and he's just like a relaxed type of guy.
Yeah,
But and he wants to he's a talker on the court. Okay, Jason Tatum loves his mom and loves his son. Okay, cool. Okay, LeBron, he's a goof sometimes, and he loves his wives and his kids. Okay,
yeah,
cool. And Sabonis, he's a tough guy who loves his father, who's a former NBA player, and loves his wife. So he's talking about four guys who love their families.
yeah.
Like we've made basketball, and mind you, it's almost owned by Disney because Disney owns ABC, owns ESPN. So the people who are introducing these are the ones like this is Disney, and we've made them all Disney cookie cutter players. They're all cookie cutter players, right? So we made them so lovable, but then respectfully, like, us older men, we're like, where's a little bit of some fight, right? Like the best player in the world in the 90s had a gambling addiction to there's a rumor that the David Stern had to tell him to not come back for a year because he suspended him for a year in
Yeah,
Jordan. Like
yeah.
that's a rumor that happened, and they had to tell the man to stop. Like that's the worst thing LeBron doing right now is nepotism. He has nepotism. Like it's the worst
Everyone
thing.
would do it in his position. I
Everyone
would
do
do
it.
it. I would do it. I don't care.
Everyone did. No, half these CEOs, their sons are the owner. Like Bill Belichick had his like I think it was his offensive lineman was his son, or his offensive coordinator was his son, and I think one of the defensive coordinators was his other son. Like let's
You want the bread in the family. You want it to outlast your life and
that's it.
succeed your kids. Like that's the whole name of the game.
Yeah, but that's like the biggest drama. Like we don't really have drama. Draymond really is. You're right. Draymond's like the villain that we have because he stomps on people, he kicks
Yeah.
people in the balls. Like he's like the best person we have because that's what the NBA is born ultimately because we've made them. There's no suspense. Like once something bad happens to a guy, we just kick him out the league. Like the person doesn't survive. Um, if like Michael Jordan's gambling addiction, I always call it addiction. If he was gambling and smoking cigars the way he's doing it now, and in this time, no, I'm not sure he would make it. I'm not
No,
sure he
the
would make
NBA is
it.
like, yeah, it's more. Yeah, yeah.
No, I don't think he would make it, man. This era of sports, like even look at like football, right? Like Dion wasn't coming in chains. He was just a flashy man, like flashy.
The interviews, the post game, the pre game, it was entertaining. I
Like
wonder which NBA player right now is entertaining like that. Maybe Ant-Man.
I yeah, Ant-Man's probably the most him and Ja are probably the most entertaining guys.
Yeah,
And for
yeah.
nostalgia reasons, it's LeBron, Steph, and KD
For
are
nostalgia. But I remember back in the early 2000s, late 90s, AI, you would always want to watch
yeah,
his interviews.
yeah,
Every interview was like, what is this guy gonna say?
yeah. But I think the league is gonna there's gonna be a lull time because this is just the way the leagues are. It's right now we're about to enter the lull because the two guys behind me and the guy in San Francisco, they eventually have to retire. We
Even
can't bank
Shaq
on it.
sound bites, like you're right about the like Shaq sound bites.
Yeah. Come on, man. Kobe was
Kobe,
interesting. Like Vince, Tracy,
Vince, yeah,
like
yeah.
we had a boring guy in Tim Duncan. He was boring, right? So we didn't focus too much on him. But now the league is so like I said, everyone they want
He
everyone.
was born with winning rings, so it's like you have to talk about him. He was winning
But
rings.
like Zion had a full-on woman calling him like the baby father to her kids, saying this and all that stuff for 3 weeks, and we basically said Zion, hey, give us that key to the NBA. We're giving it to this guy named Ant-Man. We're giving it to him. He's the key, and we're only giving a piece to Ant-Man because we have this white guy, the Great White North. He's coming soon. Name is Cooper Flag. Other when Cooper comes, they're gonna make sure because we see the way they are with Vic. They want Vic. We all want Vic to succeed. They want Vic to succeed. But when Cooper comes,
They're gonna push the American white. You already know.
yeah, and then even the guy after that, AJ, Debansta, I forgot his
AJ,
he
I haven't heard. Is he number one after in 26?
oh he's the clear number one.
He's
Clear.
clear, huh?
If he was coming into this one, they would be arguments. Like people wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't know what
Is the French guard coming this
French
draft?
card's coming this year. French
Oh
card.
shit, this draft is really loaded then.
Oh, it's loaded. Yeah, yeah, it's loaded. And then like but yeah, like the I think it's DJ, right? Like yeah, he I get to it, his athleticism now is like LeBron type. So yeah, him, cool. And what makes it more better for everyone, and why everyone loves them off too, they're also American. Cooper's American and DJ's American. Oh, thank God. Victor, you do whatever you want to do, Victor. We're gonna support you, Victor, to be our next guy. Luca, Joker, we are gonna stop caring about you so soon because once these two Americans come, that's the way the NBA is. If you're American, they mess with you.
Starter, yeah.
Yeah, they mess with you heavy. So that's what's probably gonna happen. Like, and Jason Tatum's too boring. Like, he's just too boring. We said it multiple times. He's not exciting enough. Jalen
He
Brown,
was more exciting playing wise in his rookie season.
he was a lot more. But he's just not exciting, and it's okay. He wants to just play ball and like he doesn't have that asshole in him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He just never had it. But yeah, so let's get to our what's wrong with segment. The whole point of this podcast. What's wrong with certain teams? The first team I want to mention because it's a team that I don't think we expected to be like a top four team in the East, but a team we thought would be a little better, and
yeah.
that is the Indiana Pacers
Shout out Pacers, shout out Siakam.
and Mathurin because they're the only two guys. And you know what? Miles Turner, he's pretty consistent.
Yeah, yeah. When
I'll
he's
give Miles
yeah,
Turner.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a pretty consistent guy. But this man named Halliburton, he needs to.
Halliburton, like I said before, last pod or two pods ago, I hear people are saying he's mid, and I said it's too early. It's too early to say that.
He's averaging 16 points, which is actually not that bad, but 16, 8. This is where stats can fool you, right? His average isn't horrible. He's not averaging horrible amounts. Like he's okay. Mind you, this team has like four guys who average darn near 16 plus points. Because Miles Turner also averages 16 points. So I don't know, man. This team is just disappointing. So disappointing.
Yep, yep.
And it all stems from Halliburton. He's the engine.
Engine. Yep, yep. Because I'm looking at the stands, I'm like, okay, you guys have this like Pistons are the same record, well, 2 games above 500, right?
Shouts out to my Pistons because they weren't starting well. They didn't start well, but they've been playing a lot better. I'm so glad.
Like you have the Pistons, Hornets. Like we did not ever think that Pistons and Hornets would be above the Pacers anytime this season. Let's
Yeah.
keep it above, right? So the Knicks 6-6. Like the East is the East.
Yeah. The East is mid, right? So we the thing is with the East, you can go on a 5 game winning streak and you'll be third place. Like I think 1 and 2 maybe solidify for the rest of the year. I think it's gonna be Cleveland and Boston. They I don't think either of those teams are gonna lose.
You
Like
really
they're not gonna lose as much. Like those are the
fall
best teams, right?
so
Where
we're
and
the
I think
third
the
and
Knicks
fourth.
will eventually be better. Sorry?
So we're the third, fourth. Do you think the Heat are going to be better?
We'll talk about the Heat because I think there's a what's wrong with them too. We'll talk about it right after this.
Okay, okay,
Like,
okay.
but with the Pacers, once again, the thing is, the Pacers are deep. They're deep. But one thing they don't do is what play fucking
Play
deep.
defense. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
come on. I'm pretty sure they're a bottom team in defense. I'm pretty sure they're a
That's the
bottom.
trend because I know Pacers don't play defense.
We,
Where are the Bucks? Bucks are four. Oh shit, we'll get to the Bucks eventually, but
so the Pacers are. Oh, the way this thing is looking, they're definitely the bottom, one of the bottom ones. They're only showing me. Oh yeah, they're a bottom one, two, three, four, five. They're a bottom 10 team in defense. They're a
so
bottom
not
10 team in defense.
horrible, but they're not good.
Yeah, but bottom 10 is bottom 10. You're like you're bottom third. Like you're not good.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
not,
be
you're right.
better.
You're
Like
right.
you're with we're gonna talk about the Heat, the Blazers, the Bucks, the Pelicans who aren't good, the Jazz, the 76ers, Utah, and Toronto. Come on, man. You're
Those are
not
the defensive teams that are not doing good.
like come on, man. Pacers, you guys are you're letting certain teams be better than you in defense. The number one defense is see, it's literally based off the standings. There's Cavs, Boston, OKC, and Golden State, and then Houston, which all have like the best records. And it's clear as day. Like if you play some sort of defense this year, you will be winning games. Defense hasn't been the greatest
Shout
thing.
to Houston, 9-4,
They're fifth in defense. They're
nine
fifth,
and four. These
right?
guys have the same record as the Lakers and the Suns. I
Yeah,
didn't even think Houston would be this good.
I
So
know. I know. I'm very when it comes to Houston, like they still need to make a move, or you could just chill this year. You could just chill this year because ultimately, I
chemistry is building. Chemistry is
best
building in
thing
Houston. So
chemistry
that's
and
why
this
I know you want the Jeremy Grant to. I know
right,
you want
right.
that deal, but
Yeah, to
right
me, you
now
can chill. You can chill this year if you want to,
it's
because I'm not too sure. Let's see, we're gonna sidetrack this, which is good. You're Houston in the offseason. You can call up a stretch 6'10" forward. in Utah. Hey, we got players to trade, and this is Danny Ainge who loves getting young players. Danny, what's up? So let's say you're Danny Ainge. I call you. I'm Houston. Hey, we want marketing. We'll give you, a Dylan Brooks contract because we have to match contracts. We'll give you probably Cam Whitmore because we have to give you a young. We probably give you two young guys. I may have to give you Jabari Smith. So I probably have to give you Jabari Smith
This is a lot, kind of. This is a lot.
and
It's a
Cam
lot.
Whitmore. For
It's
you
kind
and
of a
do it
lot.
for marketing? Because I would think that would make him like over the top.
Like, okay,
Because then you got Green, marketing, Sangoon, Fred
how
can
are they
still
going
be
to be
there.
defensively without DB?
You got Amin Thompson.
Which is true, but both of them is just very healthy. Who was the third player other okay, called Cam Whitmore?
As a Cam, Jabari Smith,
Oh, there we
and
go, Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith, the young, like,
I know there's a lot of young guys. This
oh,
team
he's still
is
growing. Like, we haven't seen his ceiling yet. You know what I mean?
but then you still got to play Reed Shepard too, right? So it's like if you're Houston, you have to make a deal. Like you're Houston, you have to. You're too much young talent. Like mans are not fitting into roles properly. Like you don't know who's your
You
energy guy
know,
yet.
you know what I would do? I hope they make the playoffs this year, and then get into a series, and then judging by how they do in the series,
Then you
go,
decide.
okay,
Yeah.
what are we missing, and then go for that in the offseason. That's me as a GM.
Yeah. No, it's true, right? Because they once again, there's too much talented guys, and you somewhat have a pecking order with Sengun and Green, but it's not a definite pecking order. That's one. And then who's ever like you, Jabari Smith plays really well. Tari Eason has been. Amin Thompson's been good. Reed Shepard, you believe could be really good. Like you have so much. Cam Whitmore can be a bucket. But all these guys feel like they can. I think every man on that team in their brain thinks I'm a number two or number three. They all probably want to be number ones, but they all feel like I'm a number two, number three. Well, in Houston, you're a number seven or eight because Fred is
Sure.
still going to shoot a bunch of times,
Brett is still Brett is the vet.
right? Dylan Brooks is still going to shoot a couple times,
Dylan,
right?
and they gotta allow it.
Because
Because
of the
like we've
vets.
been in the league like 8, 9 years. Like we know how it runs. You guys been in the league in one, two, maybe third season. So it's like we
Yeah.
know how it
So
works.
so that's a team with like everyone has a pecking order. Now going back to the Pacers before we go on to the next team, which can be the Heat. You have your pecking order, but it's not working for you. We talked about it last week. We've been talking about the Pacers because I'm a Pascal guy. Let Halliburton just be the point guard then, because we all are wanting something of Halliburton. That maybe you're right. Maybe he's just not that guy.
Mhm.
Maybe he isn't the number one guy, right? Maybe he's just not that,
He's
right?
just maybe just a good passer that wants to see guys get involved. That's it.
Yeah, maybe
There's
he
nothing
is
wrong with that.
a 16 and 10. Maybe he's just I hope I'm not being blasphemous when I say this. Passing wise, a higher version of a Rondo, because I'm including the scoring. Like maybe a better version without the defense of Rondo.
But here's the thing: a better version of Rondo passing
Offensive.
wise, offensively. Okay, because Rondo, what he brings overall is
It's so good.
Halliburton's not bringing that yet. I don't know if he could become that, but for right now, he's not changing a playoff series like how Rondo would. Let's keep it above.
Yeah, no, he's not. But he can change the regular like the way this team is and the way they play. The Pacers should be better.
He definitely like. I look at Halliburton. Maybe needs to be like that John Stockton,
Yeah,
right? Just get 14, get 12 to 16 a game, get like 8 to 12 assists a game,
yeah.
and just focus on playing gritty defense. And you know what I mean? Just
Play some defense. Like I'm willing if he shoots less. Like if he says, "Okay, I'm gonna score less."
no play some
He has
defenses.
to play some defense. His man doesn't play no defense. He has to play some. Okay, the next team of what's going on is to be the Miami Heat, who
How are they low in defense, the Heat, and they pride themselves on defense? This is crazy to me.
yeah, yeah, they
Like you have defenders there.
they're not good. They're not good. And yeah, they have defenders. Bam has been the only like bright spot for the team.
Like I haven't heard
Um,
anything about Butler, and Butler's a defender too. Like
and the thing is, right now they're 5-6. So when we say it, it's like and Tyler Hero is like 24 points a game. But I think where we're coming from is that there's something seems off about this team. There's something off. Actually, Bam hasn't had a good season. He hasn't. He's 16-9, and he should be better. Like
Yep.
he should be better because I think with Bam, one thing for all of us, I think we see in Bam, we feel like Bam should be like I wouldn't say a guy. A guy sounds kind of crazy. Like the past few seasons, he's almost averaged 19 points a game. Now he's averaging 16. Like
In the
Bam should
20.
be Bam, right? Yeah, like we all believe in Bam.
Like he has a decent shot. He has decent post moves. He can hit free throws. He can run the floor.
Yeah.
He's their only big. There's like who's their other skilled big on the Heat?
Skilled big Kevin Love. I don't
Kevin
know,
Love is
man.
like 40.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's like
They have Highsmith, who's okay, but like you're right. No one, like there's no one. There's really no one.
Bam is a
That compares.
utility guy. Like he's literally a utility guy. He
Yeah,
should be doing way better in our opinion. Like it's
that's why I always think that they may make a move, man. They may make a crazy
you
move.
have Rozier too. Like I don't know. Like Miami should be.
Yeah, they could make a
Rozier
move.
can play defense too. He's not shit.
Yeah, Miami. Once again, it just seems like
You got shooters. You got Duncan. You got Hero on one end. So it's like you got gunners. You got
yeah,
a guard that's Rozier is pretty legit. You got your wing that's Butler that is a defender. You got your big that's also defending that's blocking shots.
the thing with the East, they're so like because Orlando's 8-6, New York is 6-6, Atlanta 6-7, then Miami's 5-6, Detroit 6-8, Charlotte 5-7, Indiana 5-7, then Brooklyn. That's a fucking surprise team of the league.
Me
Like
too.
a team like that, I'm not gonna hate on because like we didn't think you were gonna be good, but
Mhm.
Cam is playing well. Not Cam. Yeah, Cam, right? Cam Thomas. Yeah, Cam
They're
Thomas
both Cam.
are both playing.
Both Cams are
Dennis
playing.
Schroeder, holy moly, is playing.
Shooter is like, yo, he's playing like he's playing in Germany.
The one thing I'll say about Schroeder, and I really realized even with his time in Toronto, Schroeder believes he should be scoring more. And thinks he's not a bad scorer, but he truly has he's way more of a gunner than you would think.
Yeah,
Like he
he
truly believes that he should be scoring 20 points a game. Like he really believes. That's why
has opportunity now.
people think the Lakers will try to go for him.
Again, after he
Yeah.
fumbled that contract.
Yeah, but like I think it's because like he I don't know, I think he's averaging 20 points a game. Him and Cameron like one of the leading backcourts in the league.
Oh yeah, okay, who's a better guard to you? Reeves, D'Lo, or Shooter?
Like Reeves is better than all of them.
Reeves is better than all of them. Okay, who's
Yeah.
second to you?
This season I'm going shorter. For sure. For sure. Because the one
What
thing with
makes Reeves
Schroeder,
better
also he
than
attacked.
Shooter to you? What makes Reeves better than Shooter to you?
I think it's consistency and more of like a mental attitude of like I think D'Lo's just so inconsistent. I think that's what it comes down to. The consistency in Reeves and Schroeder I like better. They're more consistent. They understand their roles more. Like the Lakers could be way better if I've been saying it. D'Lo has always been the factor. He's always been. It's kind of like if D'Lo can average 20, if D'Lo was the all-star D'Lo that he was in Brooklyn, that's a
That's the
diff
thing. That's the
that's a
thing.
right, and he's not that guy. And that's what the Lakers need. The Lakers really need a guard to kind of like take him over the top. Because defensively, I like the thought they put Cam Reddish on the court. Dalton Connect has been playing like starting for twice, and Dalton Connect is older, so he's not that much of a rookie like that. He's an older rookie, so it's better. So like so going back like Miami, like their record is similar to everyone else, but I think you could just see some of the East teams are just like, yo, your scabs, like the things that you're doing wrong are so evident that they're gonna get picked on. Like they're getting picked on. Miami just should be better. The next team I wanted to talk about was the New York Knicks. We're kind of focused, but more like Bridges.
Ooh,
But then I also think I don't blame Bridges sometimes. I blame the Knicks organization. They've made such smart moves, a lot of smart moves recently. But that Bridges one, you traded almost everything for this guy. But then you also have OG. But then you got Anthony Towns. You just have almost like too much guys. So Bridges has to do this. But defensively, Bridges hasn't been good either. Like
that's
he's not
crazy.
Bridges,
That's crazy. Yeah.
right? And it's a mentality thing. Like, man, you were the third or potentially fourth guy in Phoenix because it would go Booker, Paul, Ayton, Bridges probably, right? Even Cam Johnson potentially, right? So you're fourth or fifth depending on the night, but you have to guard the best defensive. Now you go to Brooklyn, you're the one. You're
Yeah,
the one guy. So,
yeah,
and when you're the one guy, when you're the number one, you don't play as much defense. Like I realize a lot of number one guys, unless they're the elite guys like a Giannis, don't they don't do both sides. They go one side and they stick
yeah,
to it.
yeah. Well, they tried on the other side, kinda, but they take plays out. Yeah,
Like once Pascal became a number one option, he stopped playing fucking defense. Okay, and he's a good defender. He stopped playing defense. So it's weird that these guys made their offense like change, but that overall team, once again, it's a team that the best player that I've seen this year on the Knicks has been Cat,
truthfully, yeah.
the bodega, the big bodega.
Truthfully, Cat has been the best player on the Knicks this season. Yeah,
He's averaging 26 points. Brent is averaging 25. OG's averaging 16, which is not bad. Bridges also averaging 16. But well, you know, once look at their minutes. Their minutes are still kind of high.
it's Tibbs. Remember, Tibbs will run his starters 42 minutes.
Yeah, because they don't have a bench.
Who's on? Oh yeah, they traded a bench.
They don't have a
Who
bench.
is it? It's Deuce. It's Deuce on the bench.
Luce is on the bench. And I don't Brunson, I feel like I haven't heard him a lot this season. Like
Me neither. Me
no
neither.
conversation
I
about
wonder
that.
if his shooting percentage is good. You know what I mean? I
He's
need to look at his
shooting
percentage actually.
shooting 47% shooting the two and 37 shooting the three.
That's actually good.
You know what Towns is shooting the three right now?
Has to be over 40.
50%.
What?
Yeah, shooting 5 times a game.
He's getting two and a half out of
Yeah,
five.
yeah.
Even if you're getting 2 out of 5, it's still like lights out.
That's you still can't leave the man open. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty
He's
good.
really the best shooting big man.
See, like Bridges is his field goals are okay. Mind you,
That's
like they're
what
very
Minnesota's
easy field
missing.
goals.
The spacing. Because
Let
Randall's not
let's
creating
go to Minnesota. I okay, so
any
we
Randall's not creating any spacing. Let's
he's not
keep it
creating
real.
spacing, and like I think see, this is where like you guys were a good team. You guys shouldn't have done what you did. You guys should have done what you did. You guys should have kept everything going, man.
I should have ignored that call from New York.
Yeah, like nah, we're gonna keep him. Like, and I think Randall's okay, right? Randall's okay with them,
Randall's
but
not bad, obviously, but we got to talk about team chemistry and what's best for a team. Like, if you guys had a center like that can stretch the floor, maybe this would work better. But you have Randall that's I'm gonna guess this. He's under 36% 3-point shooting, right? I'm I'm guessing that's not
36.8.
that's better than I thought.
Yeah, Edwards is shooting three, almost like close to 12
I
3-point
know,
shots a game. It's
ridiculous.
crazy. But he's
He's
shooting
making like four.
42%. Yeah, yeah. That's not bad.
That's a lot of shots for like
I know.
you're getting 40%, so I can't hate, but that's a lot of
But
threes.
you almost want him to shoot more jumpers. Like, I do agree he's shooting too much threes. But then he has to, because once he goes into the lane, who's there? Randall or Gobert, both like clogging the paint. So he
Yeah.
almost has to do it for the team. Right.
And
So
you would want to give Randall 10 kind of open-ish threes a game as a team. You live with that. Because Randall's not going to be hitting. If you give Randall 11 threes, kind of open, if he hits three, you're going to be okay with that.
yeah. Yeah. DiVincenzo's been bad, shooting 30%, shooting the three. Mind you, when he was like lights out with New York last year.
Yeah, yeah. What about Nikhil
Um,
Alexander Walker? What
he's
Nikhil?
he's shooting close to 50%.
That's good. That's good.
But he's shooting like he's like shooting less, like more than double less
I don't
than
think Minnesota's going to make it to where they made it last year, though, with this squad.
not even close, man. But I think we all still thought they would be good because we thought Edwards would just be that guy. But like they're not clicking.
Look, I was took the words out of my mouth, not clicking. Yep, yep.
Yeah. Like the one guy I think is the most disappointing besides DiVincenzo, McDaniels.
Yo, he was showing so much promise last year. It's crazy.
I'm gonna call this. I'm thinking about it now, but I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna blame two guys, Kawhi and Pascal. Now maybe there's other guys just like him, who like you see the defensive up and you're like, wow, this guy can become something. or even a Paul George, it's like almost like them, right? Like you were like, oh, we didn't know this guy had this in them. So all of a sudden you're like half the reason why they traded Towns is because they wanted McDaniels to be a Scottie Pippen. Like they thought that that's what he was because he's so good defensively. Then you realize, oh no, they're really just a 3-and-D guy, or more like they're just a defensive guy, right? Everyone's looking for the next Kawhi, especially Kawhi. I'll say the next guy who's going to transition to become a star after being like a role player. Not everyone has that,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
right? So I think that's where I think they failed on that. He didn't go so well at all. And they believe in Nas Reed, who I think like if
How
they
is
don't
Nas
keep
Reed doing this year
15
though?
points, shooting 50% and 45% shooting three. So he's actually been pretty well.
He's balling. Nas is
Been
balling.
pretty well. So I don't know. I just think but they don't seem good enough. They really don't. I think talent upgrade, like you went down, especially if DiVincenzo's not going to shoot well. If he plays better, your bench is like him, Nikhil, Nas Reed. That's a pretty good bench. Just saying those three names.
Dillingham.
Dillingham, who doesn't play though. They don't play Dillingham.
That hurts me. Like
Yeah.
that honestly hurts
That
me.
was your pick. And a lot of people were picking Dillingham because they're like, he can help them.
Yeah, and he has moves. Like
He can help them.
he
They
has those moves that are instinctual moves. He's not coming out like coming like you know what I mean? Like there's guys that play with instinct with their moves. Like Kyrie is one of those guys that
yeah,
instincts, right?
yeah, they don't play him. They don't play him at all.
It's,
Another team that I wanted to talk about now with like Western Conference in the Dallas Mavericks. They won last night, so it's always weird when you talk about a team like that just won. But
we also
Dallas,
lost to the Spurs the other day. Who
I
else
think
is there? Like
he lost the first twice, no?
is it twice?
Or was it yesterday? No, yesterday they won. Um, I don't know with them. They're just
Like they're playing the Pelicans Tuesday, right? But they who they lose to recently? Yeah, they lost to the Spurs. Okay, they beat
yeah.
the Spurs. They lost to the Jazz
Come on. Oh,
Thursday.
and did you see the play that they lost to the Jazz by?
I didn't even see it. It's by 2 points. Jazz won by so I'm like, how can you not
So
close against a young team?
Jordan Clarkson had the ball on top of the key. He's dribbling, and then he goes like you know you do that face. You're like, oh, you're open. I love that. Oh, you're
Yeah,
Luca. I don't know what Luca's doing. Luca's like this,
Luka,
and
you
then
know Luka don't play defense.
John Collins is just behind him. Jordan Clarkson pass, dunk. John
Hold
Collins,
on, a back door to
a
win the
back
game.
door. Yeah, because like he was just open,
That's text. That's grade school. Like, don't let that happen.
and
That's
then Luca
grade
turns
school.
around, and then he does that. You know oh, what was no one looking? No, that was your man. That was your man, Luca. That's because you're guarding the technically the guy who's gonna get the ball the least chance, which is John Collins.
Yeah, which as Jason Kidd you'd want.
Right, right,
Probably is Jason Kidd. I probably wouldn't even if that's the last possession. I'd probably take Luka out for defensive reasons. On a real note,
right. Yeah. I
it's
agree.
like, what do you like, huh?
I agree. I agree. And like the thing is with them, because I once again they're a team that people expected more from. Their next three games. Oh, you know what? They face the Pelicans, so it'll be easier. I'm thinking the
You
Pelicans are
guys have a
pretty.
little big three over there. You guys have the second best 3-point shooter in the NBA, literally. Let's say we can say Klay Thompson is probably arguably the second best 3-point shooter in history.
Yeah,
We can say that. And then Allen is like a Klay is a 2A, Allen's a 2B.
yeah,
We can say that.
yeah,
And you have the best ball handler aside from Iverson in NBA history, right? And
yeah,
then you have the player, Luca is like he's been playing professionally since he was 15. And you guys are under 500?
yeah. I
You guys
think
are
it's
coming
some
in
of
with so
their
much
role
confidence
players.
from last year going to the finals.
Yeah, some of their role players like Najee Marshall. I'm pretty sure he's shooting under 20% shooting a three.
But as Shaq and Barkley was saying, Mike, those three should get you over. Those three should get you over.
But he was shooting. See, this is where like you have a really good year, and everyone thinks that could. He was shooting 38% last year. But if you take away that 38%, honestly, the man averages 32% shooting three. So the first 3 years, he averages like 32%, right? And then, because mind you, 32. My average is bad. So let's say 35, 20, and then 30. What is that? You would say like 28%.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
he's a average 28% three-point shooter. Last year was the outlier where he shot 38. So you're thinking that's going to continue.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
did not. But he's a good defender, and I think I still think he's good. PJ Washington hasn't been that great if I think about it.
yeah. Oh yeah, even Peach and the spot about Gafford, lively, like
Yeah, they still got Dinwiddie, they got Hardy, they got Clinton Grimes. Like
you
they
got
actually
guys
have a
that
team.
can put the ball in the rip, put the ball in the hoop.
They have a squad. I don't know. I
Dinwiddie, and
think
I know Dinwiddie doesn't get any effing time. I know he
he
doesn't
doesn't.
get any time.
He doesn't have one. Because I know Jason. Jason Kidd's my favorite player. That Jason Kidd don't trust people. He gets 17 minutes a game, but like I know if he could, he would reduce that. He would definitely
That's
reduce that.
nothing. Dinwiddie's that guy should be getting minimum 20 minutes a game. Like he's a bucket. You just got
I
to
don't
put him.
know. Dallas is just not. Everyone's gonna look at Luca and be like, Luca's just too much. Like he's too ball dominant. And like I think in this league now, you can't be ball dominant. You have to pass the ball.
This is not year 2004 where you can have like AI. Well, I can't even use AI because AI didn't really have guys on the team
He
that
didn't have nobody, man. R.I.P. to Mutombo, man. That's what he had him. He had McKee. He had Eric Snow.
and Matt Geiger. Like these guys are not Theo Ratliff.
Yeah, yeah,
Like your second fiddle's Larry Hughes, and that was
yeah.
shaky.
Yeah. He didn't have anybody. He didn't really have anyone.
Like
No.
these guys on the all-time list, like you're gonna see Kyrie, like okay, he's a baller. You're gonna see Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Dallas under 500 is great. Dinwiddie,
Yeah.
even Dinwiddie is a better version of Larry Hughes.
Yeah.
And Larry Hughes was the second guy. It's
Yeah.
crazy that the
It's, it's,
Mavs
it's not
like
good.
you guys lost to the Warriors. You know what I mean in the Cup game by 3. Like you guys lost a couple close games, right?
The
Lost
place
them
I know
both by 2.
that NBA Cup, like I do love it. I actually do like it because those games, they do be competing a little harder.
No, you're right. It's just the courts. It's just the
Yeah,
courts.
still, I don't know why they want to do it to make it, but I get they have to make it different. But like teams be competing, man.
No,
These teams
it
be,
feels playoff. It feels like a playoff vibe.
yeah, they be competing. They be
I'm not
competing.
gonna lie. It's good. I like that, but it's just, the only thing is just the court. That's
Yeah,
really
of
it. It's
course.
just because it's
But yeah,
ending with the jerseys at times, and it's like, who has the ball?
but yeah, this team is just not good, man. It's just not good. And I think once again, I think it falls on the defense.
They lose a lot of
Um,
close games, Mike. If you really take it in, they lost to the Suns by 1.
I want to look at the. That's one thing I was gonna bring up about the Raptors is that like that's the
Oh,
point differences. It's see like they're 6-7 and they're a +4. That means like you win by a lot, and then I don't know. Once again, it's like these teams that we're talking about. We know a 5-game winning streak can change their whole trajectory, blah blah blah. But there's just little things you're seeing. You're like, yo, I don't like the only Luca touches the ball type shit. I don't like it.
no, it's wild.
That team is too talented for that. They're too talented. Luca can touch the ball at the end. Like should be talented enough not to hold the ball for 20 seconds. You
Lucas,
know,
that's all he's used to, though.
like I just think that that's not what can make this team better. Now, crunch time, Luca, do you think? I think I do. I'm more of a the last 3 minutes of the game, last 5 minutes,
Hold
ISO
the ball.
everything.
Yeah,
You
hold
know?
the ball. Get to the line.
Yeah, yeah. I'm all about the best play you want to make. Yeah, I'm just not. I'm a little disappointed in them as a whole. Um, because I look at like once again the standings, everyone is so jumbled together, but that means, like you had said originally, there's a little bit of inconsistency in the league, like just inconsistent. Uh, People aren't, yeah, they're just the way the guys are playing. It's not. It's just inconsistent.
hmm
They take games off and stuff like that. It's not the way. Before we get to the Pelicans, I mentioned this last week. I just want to mention it again. Chicago Bulls. I was looking at their record. I was looking at what they're doing. Vucevic is having a really good fucking season.
He is. He is. He
He
is.
he's probably gonna get traded. It's too good. Him or Pirtle's getting traded because these guys are playing too well. None.
They're high on the value right now. They're high on
Yeah, like the values are high.
you got to get some for them.
But Chicago once again, you can try your best. I'm all for it. Stop trying to win games too much
Chicago be kind of winning.
because then you're gonna think in your brain this is where these like head offices get crazy. that you're good enough. All you need is what you're gonna think you're a Kevin Durant away, and you're
That's
not.
a big piece to get though.
That'd be a huge piece.
That's
Yeah.
a very
But
big
but
piece. Like in
they
general, a
truly
generational player is
they think they're a Brandon Ingram away. Like they think they're a Brandon Ingram away.
running on the Bulls. You know what? I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
But you're not though. But you're
I don't
not.
hate that idea though. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not
That's
opposed to
cool.
that.
But you're not. You're not. You
Because I know
need
him and Lonzo got
multiple.
a little chemistry going back to LA.
They need multiple guys. Multiple guys. What about a Zach LaVine on the Pacers? Let's say but you have to trade like you have to trade more than likely Nemhard. You probably trade Nemhard and someone else. Because to me, I'm not trading Matherin unless it's for a guy. Like I'm trading Matherin for a guy. I'm trading Matherin for like I don't even know who to name, but like I'm trading Matherin for a person. I think Matherin has like that potential. Like I want to almost say Jimmy Butler type, but Jimmy Butler's also been in and out of the lineup a lot. But that's the type of player I would trade Matherin for.
She's a guy.
Like I'm trading for a guy. 'Cause I think Matherin is
That's a
like
baller. Like he's shown he can.
I'm not trading him unless it's dire need, dire need. The well, the last team that I was gonna think about talk about is the Pelicans, mainly the medical staff. What's going on?
How is everybody injured?
Everybody,
It's like 7 players injured.
like legit. They're like 7, 8 man like rotation, except the guy that you want to trade.
That's isn't
He's
that funny?
you
Out of
ain't
it all,
trading
Ingram
him.
is standing tall and strong.
You ain't trading him, right? You have McCullum's out, Trey's out,
Murray's out.
Zion's out, Hawkins is out,
Alvarez is out.
Alvarez is out. Yo, I'm telling you, I had to
Herb
talk.
Jones is in. Herb
Herb
Jones
is
is in.
out. Herb is
Oh
out.
shit! Oh shit! He's the whole team.
The whole team. The
So
whole team.
basically, if I were to see the active players on the Pelicans, I probably wouldn't know who they are on the road.
Yeah. Their starting unit right now, it says Brandon Boston, which we know. He was like a player when he was in high school. Jalen Noel, he can get a bucket. Uh, Ves Messi, which is a rookie. And yeah,
Wouldn't know that guy. I'm sounding like Barkley.
but like the thing, come on, man. Like what are we saying? This team isn't like good. Brandon Ingram is doing his thing though. He's trying.
You
He's
got him. He has to be taking 30 shots a game when he's.
he's trying, man. He has no choice, but he's trying. But like, just look at it. Zion is only, so Brandon Ingram. I think they've only played 14 games. So Brandon Ingram's played 14 games. Okay, Zion has played 6. CJ has played 4. Hawkins has played 8. Trey Murphy 3. Oh, you know who we forgot to mention? DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, I said Murray. I said Murray,
Oh,
but I
oh,
guess.
okay. Yeah, he's played 1.
Mo, he only
Oh,
played one,
yeah, crazy, right?
and that guy's usually not injured like that, though. Murray.
Now, once again, the front office is gonna do what now? We just everybody was injured, guys. Everyone was injured. What can we say? We'll get a top 6 draft pick, and then we'll be fine. No, you can't just keep adding.
And then you're gonna keep, for example, this happens again, and then it's like, we'll be fine. You get another pick, and then it's a cycle.
It's a cycle. When are you guys gonna be good? Like, eventually you have to break the team up. Right? Eventually you gotta break the team up. And you gotta talk about trading Zion.
Yeah, I think it's time to have that discussion.
Because to
Pelicans.
me, if you get a top honestly top 2, top 3 pick, like think about it. Think about trading him. Think about starting over.
I know they want to start over because it's like we brought in CJ, we brought in Murray.
They did so much trading, so much. And I'm pretty sure one of
Herb
their draft
Jones
picks
is
goes to
an elite
OKC.
defender. Trey
Yeah.
Murphy the third is an elite gunner.
They have such a squad. You're right. They have such a squad.
Like when you look at it, like these guys, if they get it together,
Perfect.
yeah. But
Perfect. They need a center ultimately. But
yes,
like
yes,
you have like you said, you have the 3-point shooter that you can never leave open in Trey Murphy. You have one of the best defensive wings in the league in Herb Jones.
and he's like this is third season. I want to say third or fourth season,
Yeah. Fourth. I think he's with Scotty, so it has to be fourth.
right? And he's like, I'm watching the playoffs 1 year, and he's blocking jump shots.
Consistently, man.
Yeah,
This
so
team
it's
is
like, and the only person other I've seen blocking jump shots was Wemby. So it's
I just want to look at their draft picks. I don't know why I feel like they OKC has one of their draft picks, which is
OKC
like,
can have two teams at this point.
yo, man, it's
Like
crazy.
two NBA teams, not a G League, like two NBA at this point. It's
Like it's crazy. The amount of draft picks those they have to start trading them. They have to start trading them. They have to. That's why at first I'm like, oh, they can go get like a Pearl, but they have Hartenstein. He's just injured, so they don't need him either. They have their own next year. Oh, next year they have their own too. They have their own. Because I'm like, yo, if you don't have your own, you're crazy. On a weird note, if Milwaukee is bad this season, and let's say Milwaukee falls to like sixth, the Pelicans get their pick.
Milwaukee could fall a six though.
He did because they're not good right now. Well, they
They could, and still make the playoffs. They could.
no.
But
If Milwaukee falls, if sorry, Milwaukee has to not be good. They have to not make the playoffs.
oh, okay, that's what you mean. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
I
like,
see them making the playoffs, but they should. But defensively, these guys are just
oh, and sorry, I mean if Milwaukee's really bad and they fall to like top four, I should say, it goes to the Pelicans because Milwaukee owns it from 5 to 30, and the Pelicans own their draft pick from 1 to 4. So you need to win, man. You need to win. You need to win.
Milwaukee's. They're gonna win somewhat, but these guys. Dame is not a defender. Brooke Lopez is not a defender.
Yeah,
Guess
no,
what?
they're disappointing. They're definitely disappointing.
They go
And
at
they
them. Portis is always going under screens, leaving guys to shoot threes, and this is the best shooting league right now with
yeah,
3 point percentage. And Portis is going under screens, which doesn't make any sense to me.
at
I don't.
all, at all. They even Pelicans even have Milwaukee's next year, which is a swap, right? So I think they can swap in case if they have. That's what I'm telling you. Trading future picks. Sometimes I always get so weary about it, but I also think like you do it because you're gonna get a person. Like when you think you're gonna get a person, you do it, right? And but that's when they traded those picks to get Drew Holiday. Like that's when the Milwaukee got those to trade for Drew Holiday, and then look, you
That
don't even
was
have
crazy.
them.
That
You
was
don't even have them, right? And then
getting rid of certain glue guys that are defenders that don't complain is first team defense.
defense.
I don't know. I
It,
don't know.
just, it made me think of wanting to look at freaking OKC's draft. So OKC has it's a Utah top 1 to 10, but that won't go. Utah will keep that pick because unless Utah ends up being good, then OKC will have it, but Utah won't be good. So it's 1 to 10 protected. Then they also have a Philly first rounder that's 1 to 6 protected. So Philly should be better, maybe.
They will be. They will be.
Then they're gonna get a Philly pick, and they get there's like some sort of swap thing with the Clippers and Houston. So they're probably gonna get the Clippers pick, and then they also have a protected Miami pick. This is all next year.
How many
This is a
picks?
protected
What's two
my
picks?
they have a Miami one that's 1 to 4 team protected. So Miami should be good enough that they'll probably have like the 16th pick in this coming. So because they'll be good enough, they're not gonna be bad. So
That's
that means
actually
that'll go to
not bad.
OKC.
It's
Sorry?
not loud, but it's still good.
Right.
16.
So they're gonna have a 16th pick potentially. They have their own pick, and then they have an Atlanta second round pick, which well, if Atlanta's good, all this is like if the teams are good, they won't get it. But if these teams that they're good, it's kind of crazy. They have a random Denver one in 2027. Like, wait, what are you doing with that? They have a Dallas first in 2028 that's unprotected.
Holy.
No, bro, I'm looking. They have so much. They have a stack amount of their own
They're
draft
off,
picks.
off with the yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot. All I'm saying is that like because when you do like a draft in simulator, there's chances of them having like 4 draft picks this coming. But then they can't. At one point, you can't have one.
You gotta move. Yeah. You gotta deal with. You gotta
There's
deal.
too much. There's too
You
much.
gotta deal with.
There's too much. We have a guy named Bruce Brown. Throw us a draft pick.
Please and Cowboy, Cowboy Brown.
It's OKC.
Can't
Like,
even call him Bruce Brown. Call him Cowboy Brown.
Yeah, Cowboy Brown trade him. We have a guy. Any other? We didn't. Yeah, we talked about the Pelican medical staff. Just they just need to figure that whole shit. Like something's just wrong overall with the organization. Bad luck, all in all, with the Pelicans. Just bad luck. Anything you wanted to any other team that you want to bring up?
Uh, how do you feel about the Hornets? Do you think they're gonna? Seen them play this season so far. Do you think they're gonna make the play-in? Do you think they're gonna
I
win
think
enough to
so.
make the playoffs?
Yeah, it depends, man. Honestly, because Brooklyn's been pretty good. Um, Detroit, the team that I'm just
So, my
begging.
final question is: do you see any new team in the East playoffs or
Well, like right now, Milwaukee and Philly aren't in it. So I want to believe that one of those teams will come out the depth. And I know everyone's like, yeah, well, the East isn't good, so like a 5 game. But in my mind, like Milwaukee and Philly, they would have to almost go. They almost have to. Their winning percentage has to darn near be 60 to 70% the rest of the season to be a top six team. Because the top six team, you know why it's possible? Because like, is Atlanta going to be a top 16?
I don't think so.
Right? Orlando's missing Paulo, but they won a couple games. So, and Franz is, hey, Franz, hey,
He's
good
doing this.
job, Franz.
Yeah,
He's finally doing his thing. So, good job to you, Franz. But like Detroit, I believe in. There's still a chance, but they still have Indiana that should be better. Um, Chicago doesn't understand the assignment, so I don't know. Those are the two teams I think that can make it. Like Washington's gonna be bad as they should be, and Toronto, they're 2-12.
I
So
hope Toronto. This is hurting my heart seeing them at the very bottom. Like they're
yeah,
below the
that's
Wizards.
it does. But I keep thinking to myself, it's
Cooper,
okay.
Cooper, Cooper,
It's
Cooper,
okay.
Cooper.
I just want a top five pick. Please just give us a top five pick.
No, I want Cooper. I want top. I want Cooper.
Oh,
That's what I want.
his label will be the Great White North, like literally the Great White North. That would
And
be his nickname.
especially up in Toronto,
Because I'm saying like,
that would be beautiful.
um, so I would love for that to happen. But then, okay, just remember this question because I don't want to forget it. And when we get to the Raptors, when Cooper comes, someone has to come off the bench now. Who's that going to be? Just remember that question, and we'll talk about it later. But yeah, if
I
with
think
Char,
I think besides the three, anyone could go on the bench. Besides the three, that's how I feel
we'll talk about
from right now. We
it.
want Cooper, and I want him to be the number one option. Like straight up,
Legit. I don't know why. Legit, I want that too.
6'10" and 17. You're still growing.
Yeah, his
Like you're still
his
growing
game,
mentally and
yeah,
physically at
his game is
17,
only gonna get better. I think he's a star. I think he's a star.
bro.
I think he's a star. I really do.
Bro, he
I
did
think he's a
not
star.
shoot a bad percentage in the national televised game, first televised game.
Yeah,
See what I'm
I
saying?
think he's a
Listen,
star.
Kevin, he did not shoot a bad percentage.
Yeah, I think that boy's a star. I ain't gonna hold you. I think he's a
And
fucking
he
star.
was scoring on the post,
Yeah,
in the mid, off the dribble, and on the catch.
yeah. And he's a good. He's not a bad defender. That Cooper boy's. He's a
His
star.
defense is the best attribute so
Yeah.
far.
I think Ace Bailey has a lot of good attributes. But I always say like, and it happened like normally the first three guys, not everyone becomes a star. It just doesn't happen that way. That the Barnes draft is becoming a really good draft. It's reminding me of the '09 draft where there was a lot like really good players in that draft that we just didn't. '09 the Harden one.
Curry, stuff like
Harden,
Harden.
Curry, Holiday, Blake Griffin, like all these people. Like Blake Healthy is a top three guy redraft. Like Blake Healthy.
I can't lie. Blake Griffin, at first, I'm like, this guy's just a dunker,
That's what I thought too.
right? But he honestly got a shot. He got dribble. He
So
got
much better. So
pass.
much better.
He improved. So, and
Yeah,
it,
I didn't
it's
see
nothing
that
to do with the
happening.
Clippers' development because they don't really have player development. It was on him.
Yeah.
So you got to give it up. Like he truly was a student. He loved the game. He wanted to get better.
Like I think Ace Bailey will probably be number two, and then either be Dylan Harper number three or the French kid. But it all depends on
Dylan
who.
Harper. Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, it all depends on how the who gets the picks, right? Like if you're Portland and you get a top three pick, are you going for Dylan Harper, or do you still believe in Scoot?
bro.
right? So like you have to
Me
decide.
as a gym draft, I'm draft. If I get to pick, I'm the best available player. I don't care about
Yeah,
position. The best available player.
I agree with that stuff. I'm like, yo, if you go for talent, but sometimes that hurts you because that's
It
what hurt
does.
Detroit. Because
It
Detroit
does.
keeps drafted the best player available, and they kept doubling on like multiple bigs, multiple like guards, but now they don't have any wings. So it's just like you get to hurt yourself a little
I don't feel
bit
like
when you
Detroit
do.
be scouting. They just hear a name like, okay, we're gonna go with that. I don't feel like they be really scouting.
Yeah, no, I agree. They definitely go with the popular pick. Something I do think you have to go like if you're OKC, you can just do whatever you want ultimately, right? Because like I told you, there's a guy named Nikolai Topic. He was like a top 10 draft pick last season. He's injured. He's not coming this year. If he does, it'll be like late this season, but he's coming next year. And Chet, like when you're on a squad and you're just watching the main squad for a whole year, you will only get better. So they have this guy that's literally just sitting there waiting for them. So
That's
yeah, OKC's future is too crazy. Um, they're they if the I think it's Philly or one of them, I forgot the ones we're looking at. They're the team that they can give OKC a top three draft pick this year. How? How? I don't know.
the fact that
Yeah,
I think
it's crazy.
OKC in the top three just
It's crazy.
there's still a
So
chance that
the one thing that that happened this week, Vic had a 50-point shot while shooting the three. That's good. Shout out to Vic. You know, Darian Fox had 60 points one game and then 49 the next.
big,
I
big
think it was on
fact.
a back to back, if I remember correctly. It was back to back. So I think because there's no DeMar right now for them. So
I was gonna ask like, okay, had DeMar couldn't have been player if he did.
yeah, no way. Yeah, but like yeah, 60 and then a 59 and then
He's got Towns, yeah, and Fox
yeah,
that just blew up this week. Crazy.
LeBron had four triple doubles.
LeBron had a monster triple double during the week, and it was like 18, 16, and 13. I'm like,
Yeah,
this he's 40.
yeah. But I think that's what it should become. Like that's the LeBron. That's what they need to guard.
He had more. I remember AD only had 4 rebounds that game.
LeBron said and that's the first time I think I've ever heard LeBron say we're playing through this person. He said we're playing through Anthony Davis, which they should. They should play through Anthony Davis. We all agree. He's playing like a fucking all-star. Like not an all-star, like a NBA
This
MVP.
is kind of reminding me of a bit of Pelicans AD.
Right,
Not
right,
gonna lie, because the way he's
right,
blocking shots this year is this reminding me of Pelicans. Like he wasn't
right,
blocking this much unless he was on the Pelicans. Like this is real.
right.
This is, let's see some games getting 3, 4 blocks
So he's doing all this, and like that's why they
and
just need a
hitting the
guard.
three too. He's
They
hitting the
just
three
need a
too.
guard. They just need a guard. That's why, to me, you we talked about it last week. You're right. Just Austin Reeves, D'Lo, just put Austin Reeves on the market. Yeah, he's good, but get a better version of Austin Reeves.
100%, 100%.
Like if you can get Anthony Simons, you're okay. You're okay. You still start Cam Reddish for defensive purposes. You still have Rui if you can, like for defensive
Simons is
purposes.
a bucket. Like
Like
that's a
he can
definite
he
upgrade
can give
from
you
Austin.
30. He can give you 30. AD can give you 30, and LeBron's just gonna give you like LeBron's gonna average under 20 points for the first time in his career and be like, I'm okay because I'm still gonna give you like 10 rebounds and I'm gonna give you 14 assists now. So I just
Yeah,
have guys I can give it to.
If LeBron can really just be that guy, like I'm just gonna not really play defense, but I'm just gonna zone, like play an
Right,
area,
right,
right? Play passing lanes, play area, run the floor,
right,
take a step back, let the
right.
guard do the main, our new guard, whoever coming in, right? Type
Yeah,
shit. Because if they got a guard, if they really got Simons, to me, like that makes the Lakers elite.
right,
Like
right.
to me, you guys are officially like you guys are elite, like you guys are a force. And right now they're nice. But with Simons on the squad, like Simons, I want to say is 26, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. I don't know why you said his age. I'm thinking he's younger. I don't know why I'm thinking that. He's probably younger.
He's been on Portland since Dame and McCollum, but Dame just left Portland. McCollum been out of Portland a little bit.
Let's see. Let's see. This
Yeah, he's
guy, Anthony
explosive. And,
Simons,
and Anthony Simons playing with those veterans will know, okay, AD gets the ball. Okay, LeBron gets the ball. Okay.
25.
Lakers,
Make the call, right? I truly think so.
Call Portland, be like, hey, honestly, you want Scoop Henderson to grow more? Trade Simons.
Yeah, you want Shaden Sharp to grow? Do
Yeah.
this.
You want those young guys to grow? Trade. You want Aiden to grow a little bit more too?
Mind
Trade
you,
Simons.
they're like 5-8. They're like
They're
a
not
game.
bad.
They're a game back from Dallas for
Like the
10.
Portland starting lineup is not shit.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
It's not like if you really take it, it's not shit.
It's not bad at all. I wish Shaden Sharp can play more because he's the one that like,
Every time I see any Portland game or highlights, I just see Shane Sharp dunking on some guys.
yeah, he's
Some crazy
incredibly
highlights.
talented. He's
And
incredibly talented.
and he's not even celebrating. He's just doing it. He's running back for like I do this. Like I
He's
just need more
incredibly
time. I just need more opportunity.
so yeah. They were talking about changing All-Star Weekend to potentially be like it's gonna be what do they say?
It's not do like the Pro Bowl after the season.
No, they're gonna do it during the All-Star Weekend, but like the All-Star game,
Okay, okay.
yeah, they're gonna probably do like I think they said 3 teams or something. Or 4 teams. It'll be like 3 teams, and the fourth team will be the rising star team, either the rising star or the sophomore team. One of those two. Whoever won from the sophomore and rookie is gonna then join this. It'll be like a 4 team, I think 7 guys each. Will make it something like that, and they're just gonna compete. I think that could be more competitive.
I need to. It sounds better. I need. I don't really understand it. Like 4 teams, 7 guys apiece.
Yeah,
Keeps going.
yeah. I think that's what they're gonna.
Any tournament format's better than
Yeah,
just.
I like the thought of a tournament. I think it's nice.
I don't want to see guys just. I'm throwing a lob. let me grab a coffee from a fan. Okay, I'm still in the game. Take a pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
they just have to be more. This is where it's funny because they say this for all leagues that there's too much like friendships and they'd be like, "Oh, back in my day, we never got along with a person." Well, like this time they're too late. Like AAU, everyone knows each other, and like you don't gotta play with someone, but like Cooper has played against the DJ already multiple times, right? Like these guys are playing against each other because of AAU. They're seeing each other. Nike's inviting them to like a bunch of commercial shoots. These guys are
yeah,
becoming friends right before their eyes,
yeah.
right? Like LeBron's in Ohio. I think well, it's actually Ohio and Baltimore are pretty close, and Melo's in Baltimore, but these guys are still knowing each other, right? Like,
They played against each other. Yeah, yeah. And this is before the AAU when they were playing against each
right,
other.
right. It's like they're gonna meet each other, so I think it's hard for that to happen. That's why these
Like the
guys get
thing
along
is,
during.
say, oh, these guys are too friendly and whatnot. Like you don't want like what's the word? What's the term I'm looking for? Like in a work environment, you don't want beef.
Yeah, you don't want to be no.
You don't want to have beefs. You want to have competitiveness.
Yeah,
No beefs. You see how Kobe would be cool with players, but he's running through Paul Gasol's screen when Paul
yeah,
Gasol, you know what I mean? I like that. Like just
yeah. You
yo,
just want
you're my dog.
competitiveness. You just want competitiveness.
You know what
I
I mean?
think yeah, I think that's where like, the 3-point shot kind of got too messy when it's like, oh, Dame's gonna shoot from further, then Steph's shooting from even further. Let's both just shoot from far. No, no, let's play some defense and like guard somebody. The last real good one was like the one in Toronto. Like, let's just be a little better.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of Toronto, I'm not sure if I mentioned on the top of it, but I was gonna talk about Jake Paul and Tyson, but nothing really to talk about in the sense that like they sold a lot of money. Everyone who watched, we all feel like idiots watching because it was a money grab.
I didn't watch and I heard and Netflix should be going down in stock price.
It just went up. That's 60 mil people watching. They made like 17, close to 18 mil on Gate. Um, this Jake Paul guy,
It's
they sold.
freezing. I'm hearing the fight was freezing.
At the end of the day, it was like some people are like, no, Tyson took a dive. Like he just took the money and cut. And he probably did because there's like points where a man punched another man, and you're like, he can go more now. But they just chose not to. They did a one quick hit and they backed off. And it's like, bro, you
Tyson's
can
a real
go.
brawler, so you already know.
Because like there was one point that Jake Paul hit Tyson, and he could have went crazy on Tyson because Tyson was kind of like wobbling, and he could have done more. And he's just like, nope, nope. Yeah, it was most likely rigged.
It's yeah.
Um,
Because if you said he can go more, like Jake Paul's 27, you're boxing trained,
yeah.
you are conditioned.
But also, everyone's like, Jake Paul's not facing anybody. He's trying to call out Canelo, and like Canelo's much older now, right? No, like go someone your weight class. Like go into actual
How
boxing
long ago did
weight class.
Canelo fight Mayweather? I feel like it's over 12 years now.
Canelo? How old is Canelo anyway? Canelo's an older man now. But like everyone's like, you'll fight these guys. Like you're not fighting. He's 34, so he's still pretty young. He's still pretty young. So he can fight Canelo. I think he did he not retire?
Canelo would whoop his ass.
Canelo would, man, come on. He would kill the man. Like these
I
are
was hearing though,
actual
I didn't see
boxers.
the fight. I was hearing the women's before was the
Was
real.
yeah. That was the
Everyone
one.
was saying
I
that was
didn't
the real like
I watched like briefly of it, so I missed most of it. But everyone's like that was like one of the best fights of the year.
yeah, yeah,
They were doing their thing, definitely doing their thing. Yeah, Canelo would kill Jake Paul. Like that would sell out crazy,
yeah.
right? Because Canelo's a trained. Man, these guys are trained boxers, man. You can't just be doing that. Okay, but that's enough. Jake Paul and Tyson. I think they've got enough love and money. So Raptors, not much to talk about. They're 2-12. But the most competitive 2-12. When you look at a lot of the bad teams in the Eastern and Western Conference, the point differential, Raptors have, I think the lowest or the second lowest in the league.
I believe. Because they're
Because
losing games by 2 and 3 points, a lot of games.
they
It's
compete.
crazy.
Last night's game against Boston, Jason Tatum traveled. He traveled.
Kind of always travels, kind of.
Like that little jig with the ball, that's a travel.
Yeah, because he be moving the pivot before he dribbles,
So
and he always does it.
he fouled Pirtle under the basket. But what can you do? You're facing Boston in Boston.
Purtle is getting zero calls in
No,
Boston. You're
you're
not
not
even
gonna call him
asked
Boston. You're
in
not
the
getting called.
Boston Garden, like Boston is the historic franchise, right? They got the respect. They got players. They're the champions. Raptors have 2 wins. Injuries are plaguing us.
Yeah,
We haven't have we had a healthy roster this season, like everyone back? Not yet, right?
no, not even close.
So
Not even close.
there's your argument again. Like, why are we good? Well, the organization, hey, we had injuries. We
Yeah,
had injuries. It goes back to what you're saying.
the injuries are too much. So then exactly, because now we're all gonna be like, that's what all Raptor fans are saying. But what if? What if Scotty was healthy?
But
What
the
if?
thing is, Scotty's not a closer, so I feel like
He's
it
not?
kind of be the same result.
But
That's
then I
my
also think to myself, at least he would have more talent. If him and what's his name? What's our point guard name?
quickly.
Quickly. Yeah, like if we had all those guys like available, it's different. It's different. And then like the way Ochai Abaji's shooting the three, the corner three at a he's the best in the league at shooting the corner three. I don't know what has happened to his game. This guy's gonna get signed a good deal from probably not the Raptors, but another team because he's shooting three so
He's
well.
really a 3 and D guy.
Right now, he's definitely become that guy.
He's really that guy.
So it's easy
Right?
to say, yeah,
And
I
bright
know.
spots on the Raptor, playing player wise, is just Grady Dick.
Yeah, he had a weird him and what's his name? Barrett had a weird week, but then they kind of got back to what we should expect, right? But so
Sophomore for Grady, so he'll be up and down for the most part,
right,
but it should be
right,
more
right.
consistent.
Okay. So Grady's game is why I asked that question. So going back to the original question about Cooper, Grady's played so well, like so well, especially the way he's shooting the three, all that stuff. That you're like, man, we want to keep him as our starting shooting guard. When everyone gets back, he's still going to be the starting shooting guard. I think we have our lineup. We have quickly Grady Dick, Barrett, Barnes, and Pirtle. That's our starting unit. If we get number one overall pick, obviously you're gonna want to start him, right? You're gonna want to start him. He's also 6'10".
I don't know, but I'm gonna roll the dice and put him at this.
Oh, he can't make it. He will not make it at the five. He won't make it at the five. No way. You get crushed.
Turtle is 6'11".
You'll get crushed. Yeah, you need Pirtle. And Pirtle, honestly,
He would still. He
if the
would.
team was better, Pirtle would play better defense. But Pirtle, like, honestly, I really think Mans would look at their team and go like, "Oh, no one's playing defense. Okay, cool. I'm not playing defense. I'm not playing defense. No one else is playing defense." Because Pirtle's a good defender. He's been okay this year. Not bad, but like, he's like, I'm not trying so hard. So I think to myself, who do you take out? But if Brady has such a good year, how do you take him out? Barrett has had a pretty good season. How do you take him out?
This is generational talent. You got to take someone else.
Yeah, I know you do.
You got to take someone else.
You have to. Who fucking cares?
Brady, shit. It quickly, like you have the
It's
four.
probably Grady. It's probably Grady. You're
You
probably,
have the four. Like you have to keep Purtle because he's only big.
and then you just slide everyone down and like it doesn't matter. You can put him at the three and
Yeah,
thing at
put
the
Grady on the bench, but give Grady 20 minutes off the bench.
yeah.
Like,
You give him
give him,
more, right? You can give him like 25
okay, well,
minutes,
I
right?
agree with that as long as you're giving Grady at least 20 a game
Yeah,
because he still needs to grow and develop.
right. And you're telling him just to shoot it.
Yeah, you're telling like, yo, off the bench, like you have the green light.
You're telling him to, oh man, you're telling him to shoot it. Because like out of all the sophomores, I think he's number one still. If not, he's probably number two to maybe Wemby climbing because he's at the 50 points. But like he's like number two in sophomore scoring.
Well, fuck, Wemby's there, so shit. Like you can't really compete with Wemby. He's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the guy
But
over
he
there.
was number one. Grady, I remember I see the last thing I time I saw. Grady was number one. Let me even check.
That's nice, actually. Grady's. I didn't expect Grady to be this good.
Yeah, no, no. Like, yeah, because the thing we once again, it's racism. It's, we thought he's gonna just be a shooter,
Yeah.
but the way he can pull up, like he can drive and do a pull up
Yeah,
shot,
I'm like, hold on. This guy got a little handle. He got a little handle there still.
like no man, you have to.
Like yesterday, he had a bad shooting game, 3 for 12, right?
Yeah, it wasn't good. Um,
He still got 5 assists, so I'm looking at things like that, like, okay,
2024. They gave me an all-time sophomore one, and like Jordan had 30. Ooh, ooh, and it's crazy. Who is the? I hate when you can't find the stat you're looking for.
hmm
Think is yeah. I'm just getting all-time. This is Wilt Chamberlain. I don't want all-time. I want just this year. That's not gonna happen for me. It's saying, well, this was 2 weeks ago. It was like Grady, then Chet, then Victor, which is once again still pretty good.
Brady,
Still
Chet,
pretty
and
good.
Victor. That's
Yeah.
actually
Oh yeah. See right now, yeah. Right now it's Chet because not Chet, Victor because Victor has 22, Grady has 19. That's not bad. That's not bad because you're still in that like you're still in those people's thing. People weren't talking about you like that, Grady. Like not like that.
because he's in Toronto. You already know. There's
They
no
weren't talking
respect
about
for
that.
every player on the Raptors team.
Yeah, they were not talking about it like that. So it's crazy. But they're competing. I think there's a chance that Barnes will come back. I see Kelly Olynyk is shooting, Bruce Brown is shooting. Those guys may not come back until January. I just want to see this team like fully healthy. Because I do agree, like you do want to see the team fully healthy. I will be the front office and be like, I want to see him fully healthy, see what we can do. But Boucher can still get traded, and I love Boucher. He's played so hard this year. He can still get traded. Bruce Brown definitely can play 2 games and sit his ass down to be like NBA. You saw him? You saw him, right?
Yep. You see me hit a couple of threes, get a couple steals. I'm good. I'm good. See my knee?
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Yeah, you showcased him and he's gone. RJ had his first triple double against Boston. Well, it was a loss. So, but the game, man, you went toe to toe with the Boston Celtics. You've gone toe to toe with the Denver Nuggets. You only really got slapped by I think like the Lakers and what's the
It's the
other team?
Cavs.
And the Cavs.
Yeah, those
And the
were
Cavs are 14-0. So.
like that is their best start in franchise history, but I still do not see them winning a ring. So
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. They're so good though. Like but then once again, they're stuck because unless they were to get like a game changer, which like if you want to put Mobley at the five, no, it's too much. You can't trade Jared Allen to the Heat to get because that the Bam's there, so you can't do that. Yeah, you can't do nothing. You can do nothing. I know they want Brandon Ingram, but you can't get Brandon Ingram without trading like Jared Allen.
you
And if
trade
we want to trade Jared Allen,
I wouldn't honestly.
and then if you get Brandon Ingram, what are you saying about Garland? Because Garland's been balling this year.
He has been. I will leave it as it is and really
Yeah,
see where they would go with the best franchise, best record, and start and whatnot. And go from there. See what they really need because if you have the best season and then you go into the playoffs and you smoke out in the playoffs, it's like
Yeah,
we need to revisit this.
yeah, for sure,
So,
for sure. Anything else you want to talk about for this pod?
nah, man, that's pretty much it, man. Pretty much it for
That
now.
was like this week in this NBA for the DM pod, man. We talked about what's wrong with a bunch of people. Make sure you guys, follow, like, and subscribe. Once again, if you like it, the algorithm YouTube works better when you like it, and then we can keep doing these pods because we love it. For YS, I'm Mike. Peace.